If you want to go with your family to Masai Mara, then this is your video to go. I thought of sharing an all-in inclusive guide. Everything you need to know as a family if you want to go to the Masai Mara. How can you even be safe, let your child run around, enjoy, but also enjoy as a mom. Have bush breakfasts in the nature, and of course what to wear, what is the best time, the weather, the food, what to drink, vaccine, malaria, so many things. One of the biggest challenges while taking a child on safari is the long drives. And it's not that the roads are tarmacked, it's like we have bumpy roads. And it can be a lot. So just to give you an idea, the drive from Nairobi to Masai Mara takes you around 5 hours to 6 hours, depending on where the camp is. So to reach your camp, let's say 5 to 6 hours, and then you check in, you have lunch, you rest a bit, and then you go on an afternoon game drive, which is usually around 3:30 or 4, up to 6:30 when it gets dark, because then you have to be out of the Mara. Like if you're in a private conservancy, it can take time, even now driving from the gate back to your campsite, for example. So there is a bit of challenges, and what I actually would recommend is there are flights, which is like, I would say $400 return ticket from Nairobi to the Mara to your airstrip inside, and then the camp can just pick you, and the flight is around 45 minutes. When you want to travel with a child, especially the younger ones, to Masai Mara, is that you not only stay for 2 nights, you come at least for 3 nights. Because what happens is the first day, if you don't fly in, let's assume you drive in, which majority of the clients do, you spend 6 hours driving, then you get to the camp, you rest. For day 1, you have an afternoon game drive. Day 2, you have 1 full day game drive where you enter Masai Mara, you go inside, you spend the entire day in a game drive. And day 3, maybe you can have a morning game drive, or in the morning you go back to Nairobi as well, or you continue to another safari. But my advice, my personal advice, is that I would rather prefer to do 1 destination proper and spend my time and money and in there and have like 3 nights instead, because Masai Mara, to be honest, it's not cheap. For example, the camp we are staying in here, which I'm so happy and grateful and I love, is they have a lot of child-friendly activities, like you can paint with the Masai here, you can have a river walk, or they just play, like if they're still small, they can just bring their toys and play. And even our room here, there's an extra small area where it's set up for a play area inside our family tent. And also we are fit, like they have set up a family tent room, which is also really cool. Like it has 1 big, let's say, sleeping tent for the parents, and then it has 2 more extra beds for the kids, for example. So also making sure that the hotel is family friendly and has some more activities, also like walking safaris. Others have like bow and arrow classes, or you can go herd the cattle with the Masai, even with other kids, or yeah, just visit the Masai village and other activities like that, or storytelling at the bonfire. Or we went out to a game drive, and then they actually did the marshmallows, and it was meant to be actually to make them in the fire and eat them afterwards, but they were so excited, so they ate all the marshmallows before I actually got to them. If you know my story, you know that I have been raising Zahi traveling in Kenya and Tanzania. So when he was 2 months old, he went on his first safari in Tsavo, which I'm not saying this is recommended, but it is possible even to take a baby on safari. And if you're interested in taking a 1-year-old or under 1-year-old on safari, I actually do have a video where I show the real authentic experience I had with him while he was 8 months, and I have another one for 1.5 years. But in general, I would say kids from the age of 3, it's a good idea to take them on safari. our main travel season to Masai Mara is end of June, let's say from July to end of September, beginning of October, because that's the migration time where over 1.5 million of wildebeest are traveling to the Mara. And it is a spectacular, and I've made a video about it, everything you need to know about the Masai Mara, like a small guide as well, specifically on the migration. Then after this you might be able to think more like, okay, is it really worth it? What is the pro and the con if you want to come during the high season? Because obviously it's more touristy, it's more crowded, and the entrance price at Masai Mara is double as usually. So if you come the other seasons, I personally love it more, because then it's not that busy maybe, and also the prices are a bit lower. The only thing you have to really care or worry is the rains. Obviously we can't predict rain, however we have a big raining season which is in March, April, May, and around April most of the camps actually in the Mara are completely closed. So I don't think for your first safari it's the best to book in that times. But of course the rain can start earlier, it can already start in February, it can also go up to May, we never know. And then there's a small second raining season, the one we're in actually right now. It's in October, November. But those actually I wouldn't consider much in the Mara, because it can rain and it cannot. June, and then October, November, early December. And because now from December you're gonna have another problem with high season, Christmas, New Year. And then from, let's say, the 10th of January, February. When you go on a full day game drive, they're gonna pack lunch, and if you, depending on the hotel and the class of the hotel, they will organize for you bush breakfast and also maybe sundowners. So they're gonna set up with you a table and seats, or like those Masai blankets, and then you can sit down, and they have all types of food. So I recorded for you when we had bush breakfast, and you can see majority is like bread, eggs, some sausages, but also don't worry, they also have vegetarian options, jam, anything, pancakes. And the good thing is you can actually tell them what you would like to have. Like, be open and honest. The most important thing is talk to the hotel or to the chef and say immediately, oh, my child prefers this, can I have this, like I have this specific wish, can I have an extra hot milk in the morning? Like, even they come for wake up call, wake you up for early morning game dives, for example, at 6 a.m. in the morning if you want to do that. They come, they bring you coffee to the room. If you have a child who wants hot chocolate, they will bring that, or hot water in case it's very little, the child. So they can do adjustments the way you want it. For example, what we requested is, or what I said is, because there's a lot of like sweets and then there's dessert, because every meal, like in a medium classic budget hotel, you have a starter, which is mostly a salad, then you have proper lunch, like your main course, and then there's a fruit or dessert, which now my little one will take too much sugar now, additionally going on game drives, and then we end with a sundowner. There's another juice they're gonna have, and mostly there's some popcorn, mandazi, which is like a local meal they're putting, which is made out of flour, it's like a snack they're doing. Yeah, or even nuts, so, and fruit. So this is the type for sundowners. And then also if you like wine or an alcoholic drink, they can also prepare that for you and carry that for you in the car. So everything like that is included. The only thing which you should carry, or even when you come via road, you can stop by in Narok and say you just stop in a supermarket and buy it, is like snacks and water. Mostly like in the medium class and luxury, everything is included. Water, drinks, everything. So you get those. But it's possible, especially for the low budget, that it's advisable to just carry 5 or 10 liters of water. You can carry it in your car and then you're good to go. And for the snacks, I felt it very, very important, because you're on a game drive, you might be driving a lot. So not only yourself, even your child will ask for more food than usually. So having extra snacks, maybe also from home, you can bring some, his or her favorite snacks, and then you're always on the same side. In general, what many people underestimate is actually the cold and the wind. So in Masai Mara, early mornings and nights, like right now the camp we are in, it's a bit at the hillside, so it's a bit higher, so it's a bit colder at night, which means it can have really cold nights and early mornings. And when you go on a game drive, you have an open car or the rooftop is open in your Land Cruiser, it's gonna get a lot of windy. So definitely I suggest carrying a hat for your child, one for the cold or for the wind, for his ears or her ears, and then also a sun hat. But a sun hat or a cap too, which is also doesn't fly away easily, or it can be closed down here because the wind is really strong in the car. And then additionally, if your child or yourself, you are sensitive for wind at your throat, just carry something to cover the throat. And for the clothes, I always say, like, it's good to have layers on. So in the mornings he goes, and even myself, you go with a long outfit, and then you go with a heavy jumper because it can be cold. But then most of the cars, they have also like some blankets inside. If you're going for a medium class hotel, they usually carry those blankets. So in case you feel cold, they just provide it for you and you carry it on top. You just wear it. So that one is okay. And then the moment like from 9-10, it's gonna get hot, like really hot. Now it's changing. So if you have layers like this, you can just then remove it. And also for the shoe wear, I always say, like, he goes in the mornings with closed shoes and then he will just change them for slippers. And I do the same, because the thing is, walking around here in the camps on the grass, there might be ants, termites, or those thorns, which can really be painful and hurt you. So I wouldn't advise to go in flip-flops or slippers. What you should not wear or not bring are like really colorful colors, or these neon colors, pink, neon yellow, neon red. They say it will disturb the animals, so you shouldn't wear those. And so the most preferred colors is actually brown, any natural colors, brown, green, beige. This type of colors is actually perfect and ideal. From, of course, sun lotion, mosquito repellent. I always have like a backpack, or even two now with my little one, on safari as well, so I just carry it on safari. So one thing is definitely some snacks inside, then hand sanitizer, some toilet paper or wipes. Also some of the camps might provide it, others might not, so I have seen everything. A binocular, most actually provide it, so you can just ask the tour operator or the hotel if they have a binocular or not. And a reusable water bottle, and for me, a coffee cup to go. Because game drives are very early in the morning and I just like it. They bring you coffee to the room and things, and then they have coffee for bush breakfast, but then I like to have my coffee with me and take it in peace, so I just fill it into my coffee cup to go and carry it on safari, and I'm the happiest person in the world. So other add-ons which is in the room, which I carry for the room, not necessarily on the game drive, is also like hand lotions and lip balsam, because I feel like it's so dry here. Like, it's always good to have something. I consistently feel like I want some lip balsam, for example, which I don't have the same in other areas when I travel. And I sleep with earplugs, because when you're in a tent here, you are out in the nature. Like at night, I've already mentioned, even now we just heard, I think it was an elephant. At night you hear the hyenas, you could hear lions, buffaloes, and it's just like the wind and everything. So for me to sleep in peace, I like the earplugs. And then what I forgot actually to mention, what should be in your bag in the car is definitely a power bank, and of course your camera and everything you need to recharge it. Because some of the Land Cruisers might even have a power system, others don't have. Some, like our room right now, it has 24 hours electricity. Others, actually most of the camps, electricity and lights will go off around 10 or 11 at night. And then you can recharge all your electronics in the dining area in case there's nothing in the rooms. And also for Wi-Fi, because obviously nowadays we need Wi-Fi, it really depends. Like this camp, for example, has Wi-Fi in the tents, but it doesn't have Wi-Fi in the dining area, because they really value having dinner in a quiet and peaceful time without being on your phone. Other tents might have Wi-Fi only in the dining areas, but it doesn't reach to your rooms. So definitely you will gonna get Wi-Fi somewhere in the classic and medium budget, but not the low budget ones. So what happens is that on game drives, obviously there's no toilet in Masai Mara, so you just stop somewhere where it's a safe area where you can see something, the guide will advise you, and then you pee behind the car. That is, it's as simple as that. And that's why I also recommended taking some toilet paper with you, might be a good idea, or some wipes and sanitizers to at least remove that, because especially for myself, when I take too much coffee in the morning, I have to pee like every 1 hour. But yeah, as I said, the guide will advise you on some things like that. It actually doesn't matter if you carry a suitcase or backpack, like you mostly will have a private driver or you go with a plane coming to Mara. And for that one, I say like, it doesn't matter, whatever feels you most comfortable, and that's why most of the travelers, they just come with suitcases. There's no problem. Even here when you arrive, you always have someone to help you, even at the airport. Especially if you're a single mom, you have a child, you don't have to carry your luggage by yourself. Kenyans are super friendly and helpful, like they will just help you to carry everything. So that's why I never worry about it. The only thing is, if you fly, you have a restriction, depending on the airlines, like the local airlines. If you fly from Nairobi to Mara, I think the maximum is 20 kg, not unless you book for overweight. So yeah, just calculate you 20 kg for the local flights. And then you can of course ask for more detailed questions, your tour operator or the person which helps you to plan your trip. So if you come to travel to Kenya, there is no standard vaccine necessary, not unless you come from a country where you have yellow fever risk, then you need it. Or if you go after this to Zanzibar, for example, to Tanzania, to the beach, because then if you enter Tanzania for another safari or Zanzibar, you need to prove yellow fever because you have been in Kenya. But apart from that, if you just come from Europe, you go to or US and you go to for safari, in Kenya only, you fly back, there's no need. And also for yourself and your child, I mean, I can only recommend what the World Health Organization is recommending, but we don't have any other laws. So you can just go and discuss with your doctor. We have all standard vaccines. And when it comes to malaria, it's not a vaccination, it's a prophylaxis. So by us I mean myself and my son, we don't take any malaria prophylaxis as we live here, and it's an antibiotics which you can't prolong than more than 2 months, for example. So if you travel here long term, you can't take it. But if you come here only for a couple of weeks, of course you can take malaria prophylaxis, but then it also depends where you're going. Masai Mara, yes, it is a malaria risk area. However, I personally have never known anyone who traveled here and then got sick of malaria. Still, it's good to take prophylaxis if you choose to, together with your doctor. And yeah, if not, then it's also okay, that is your decision. And what I highly recommend, in any case, if you take prophylaxis or not, is that you get prepared with mosquito repellents. So as soon as it gets dark, spray yourself, and even you can do your clothes with different mosquito repellents. And then always sleep under a mosquito net. Obviously make sure your tent is closed. So like for example, our camp doesn't have like an extra mosquito net, but the entire tent is like a mosquito net, and they spray it and they make sure there's no mosquito. And actually we haven't seen or felt any mosquito here. So it really depends on the season. For example, we say like there is more mosquito during rain than usual. So it also depends on the area you're in. For example, this is a bit colder, this area in Masai Mara, so there is less mosquitoes. The same in Nairobi, for example. There's no malaria in Nairobi because it's simply too cold. The one thing I said like I really would advise everyone to do is getting an additional travel insurance apart from your insurance you already have for Kenya. Get the Amref Flying Doctor Insurance. It is an emergency helicopter insurance, and in case there's something happening in Masai Mara, you don't want to get treated by a local Masai Mara like Masai hospital. So you want to get back to Nairobi as soon as possible, as fast as possible. And they will send you an airplane, like a helicopter, and pick you and take you to the best hospitals in Nairobi, or even in the worst case, take you to the airport and then fly you out, your insurance. So I really recommend signing up for that. It is like a tourist cover you can get. And no, this is not sponsored. This is just me personally thinking this is the best you can do. And it's the short-term cover for tourists. They have a special package. Check it out. It's around 10 or 15 USD dollar per person. So I think that is really worth the investment. And then the last thing, because I know many moms worry about it, including myself, of course, sometimes. But now I've been like going on safari for so many times. Is what is about the safety. How can you make sure that you and your child, you are safe? And the first rule is, please get someone involved to help you plan your trip who has an idea and also knows about how it is the reality of traveling with kids. Because many tour operators and hotels, I have experienced myself, they're like, yes, our hotel is child friendly, but at the end of the day, they're not doing anything for kids or to help you as a mom or as a parent to feel more safe or to make your life easy. So that's what I would say, like, get someone who has an idea to help you planning, or sign up with the hotel I am in right now, because she has been raising her little one here, and I think that is really cool as a step. Yeah. And then the next thing is follow, when you're on safari, follow the rules of the guide. He's telling you when to get out of the car, where you can pee, what is the best timing to go, and also, of course, the rules of the hotel. You're not allowed to get out of the tent in darkness alone. So there will be someone like a Masai, a security they're sending, a ranger to walk with you to the dining area and back. And it's simple as that. I know we try to like overthink it, and it's like, oh my god, it's not safe. And I got like messages, what if a lion is gonna come to eat your child or yourself? It's not like that. Of course, it can happen that a lion comes very close, especially when you're in the car or on safari. It can always happen, but then you're in a safe zone, because as long as you're inside the car and you're not making fast movements out or trying to jump out of the car, you are okay. And I think that's the most important. And yeah, in case you have any other concerns or any other questions, please feel free to comment here or to try to reach out to me also on my Instagram. I love helping, supporting moms or parents, because I feel like if we were able to allow our kids to give them more such experience and to raise them in such a world, free and wild, like this is the best school they can ever get, the best teachers they can ever have here. So yeah, I really hope this for you, that you're able to take your kids on safari, and in case of anything, I'm sure you know where to find me. And yeah, I hope I'm gonna see you soon, and happy travel planning.